Welcome back to Kicking It with the Brothers, first episode of 2023. It's your boy ML with the fellas on my left, right here on the bottom left. It's man, glad to have him back on. We get the holiday since the World Cup previews. Our man X, beautiful hat, brother. Good to see you. Happy New Year, sir. How are things?
Doing well.
Love that. Right to the right of him is our boy. Fresh, line up everything. Okay, watch. Fresh, the shave is good. Mr. Little, hello, sir. La Liga is back. How are you?
Can't complain, man. Pulled out a tough game against Inner City. Having a tough time with Inners this year. Win's a win. First and foremost, we didn't draw in our last game like certain teams, so that's good. We're good, man. We're good. Top of La Liga, so I can't complain.
Yeah, the point differential is fantastic. Congrats. Wonderful news. And our boy to the top right, Speed Merchant, the king of calling folks Speed Merchant himself. Our man Deion, always keeping it real, honest. How are you, good sir?
I'm chilling, bro. We sunned Crystal yesterday, so I'm in a good mood.
Speaking of Sun Crystal, let's get into it. So the club, as Deion would say, is always club over country when it comes to football. Money over everything. Our boys, obviously, for X and I, 7 points off the bounce as we were to accumulate. We had, at one point, were 8 points ahead of City, but that was a race today after their 1-0 victory at the Bridge. Graham Potter, we got some takes there. Tottenham finally found their win off the bounce with a nice win in the London Derby. Mr. Kane is back with 2 goals. Deion, you told Charles not to watch, and we know Charles was focusing on Barcelona. I think it paid off for you. I'd say it did. Talk to us about that, man. Obviously, the state of Tottenham is what a lot of folks in England are talking about right now.
Yeah, I'll save my takes on the state of Tottenham for later, but I thought they played well, bro. Like okay. they were on they put they were on the pedal a little bit. They controlled the game. They played very attacking. I don't think there's anybody better in the middle in the world than Harry Kane. Whether it's like center forward, striker, midfielder, he could play all of it, bro. And he might be one of the best passers in the world too. Unlike that space merchant, Kevin De Bruyne, he passes to people. He doesn't just pass it to a location and the ball happens to go near a player. He is passing to people. But I thought they played phenomenal. Having Romero back helps the back line a ton. It's a completely different defense. It's still a bad defense, but they can hold somebody to 1, which is all they really need.
Charles, I know you've had some thoughts about Kane in the middle yourself. I know you have decided what Mr. Southgate should do, or depending on who the maybe next manager may be, or what England should do.
The man is a 10. He wears the 10. He is a 10. He needs to play as such. I think it's I think me and you have been saying it for years, but we can all see he's much better, especially with the way the team's set up. Once he's dropping deeper, they need him there. So if Conte's smart, hopefully when Richarlison gets healthy, even the way he brought Son essentially yesterday was good. So yeah, he definitely has got to play Harry deeper. I think England would have been much better in the World Cup had they done the same thing. So I'm gonna stand and die on that hill.
Yeah, Sonny looked good. In the second half when they put him center and brought Harry more middle, that's the best he's looked all season.
Yeah, we're gonna
lucky ass hat trick game he had too.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. Oh, with Sonny, yeah, for sure, right? We're gonna definitely get back to the state of Tottenham in a second, but let's go over to the crosstown, the leaders of the top of the table currently right now. X, your quick thoughts on what you saw with our boys, 3 games off the bounce. Once again, with handling our business. Obviously, just coming from the Amex, and then that's when we were 8 points up because City dropped their points. But then we ended up dropping our points against Newcastle. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch our boys live. X, what do you see in the game? A lot of roughhousery, a lot of time wasting. Unfortunate to see Newcastle, but they came out. They went and got a point.
they did what they were supposed to do, man. They was on the road. They knew that they didn't have the firepower to keep up with us, so they didn't want to get into an open game. So they sat back in the block. They did rotation fouls. They kept us from running out and really getting into our flow and rhythm. But look, I can't blame them for doing what they did. You know what I'm saying? And we had some good opportunities. We just couldn't finish. So honestly, we should have won that game even with them doing that. But it is what it is. But ultimately, I think in the bigger picture, that game proved that we need at least 2 players in this transfer window because Arteta didn't trust anybody to come off the bench. The only sub he did was Tommy coming in at right back for Ben White. But as far as changing the game offensively, he didn't have anybody that he trusted. So, we need to bring some players in if we hope to keep pace with City.
And that's what's tough right now. Like, I'm really nervous. I mean, obviously, we got Oxford City in the FA Cup this weekend, so we should have everybody rested to go to White Hart Lane come the 15th, a week from Sunday. So we should be fine there because we're out of the EFL. However, paying $35 million, I think, for Fabio Vieira, and then we bring Marquinhos from Brazil, and it's almost like, we brought in Tommy because Ben White just his legs or whatnot. But we didn't bring anybody else to even let's just go try and get the 3 points. It was like folks were comfortable. That kind of worries me a little bit because we still are trying to win a couple trophies. Obviously, we are already qualified to the round of 16 in Europa. Reinforcements are needed, or we may not win a trophy at all this year. I think we're in danger.
Honestly, I'm perfectly comfortable punting Europa. We're going to finish top 4. I don't care about the Europa trophy. We can play the under 20s. In Europa for all I care. But, I mean, you bring Vieira in, but honestly, we're asking Saka, we're asking Martinelli to play 90 minutes a game, and that's just not sustainable, So that's really where we need the reinforcements.
Yeah, that's where we're at, obviously, in North Conley. Taking it back over because I just think this is the most interesting team when we would consider in the top half of the table because – we know that they have world-class players. I think it's very fair to call Sonny a world-class player. Harry Kane is a world-class player. Richarlison is turning into a world-class player. And they have a world-class manager for the moment. And so I think it's fair to, have a real conversation about what are the real expectations of Tottenham. And Deion, we have to throw it to you first on that front. But then also – where do you foreshadow things going from here? Beginning of February, actually, second week of February, you're in Champions League. What does your team look like, and what are the goals for the rest of the season?
I mean, I don't think they know. I think that's the issue. I think you have an ownership group that's cheap and doesn't spend money, and then you have a director who happens to be aligned at the hip with a manager who probably doesn't spend more money per dollar of owner's worth than Conte, and you have an ownership group that wants to bring in young players and develop young players, and you have a manager who doesn't want to be a part of that. And so I don't know. I think it could look. If you told me they brought in nobody, I'd believe you. If you told me they went out and spent $100 million in January again, I'd also believe you. I think. Yeah, I don't really know what it looks like. I think ownership has to make a decision on that.
Charles, with your fandom currently residing in White Hart Lane, you've seen obviously a lot of club soccer before. You know the history of Tottenham. I'm not talking about their trophies, but in terms of just how they're managed. How does this make one feel as a fan knowing that there's all to win, and also this is no disrespect to Pochettino, but I mean, yeah, he's won. Obviously. Whoa,
Poch is better than Conte.
Really? That's a Charles, you go first on that. Then let's get into that.
Overrated, but yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it just I just think it's super simple for me. It just comes down to money, and it's in a big bank take little bank kind of scenario. I don't think that. We're not going to spend the money I just don't see it there's only but so much to do. And I mean, as much as I hate when Conte's just Conte's in these press conferences, he does have points about the squad not being deep enough. the 12th, 13th player. Like I totally get the logic in that. Like they're not that deep. And when you see, we can get into Chelsea's depth, and a lot of these teams don't have depth when you get past into the second 11. So it's a war of attrition, and I just feel like you take away those world class players, and it's a lot of mid tier Burnley kind of squad players playing on that squad right now. And I feel like Harry Kane and Sonny have been fucking patching up holes for the last 3-4 years. With their ability, and now that those other guys have dropped off, now that Lucas Moore has dropped off, now that Dele's gone, now that Christian Eriksen's gone, those people that were actually supplementary and helpful, like they're not getting that type of support from any of those other players now. Like they need a midfielder, like their life depends on it.
They should have brought Eriksen back in the summer. I don't know what they were doing with that. That makes no sense to this day, unless they didn't think his medical would come back okay. That's the only excuse I would listen to.
Except for he's played fucking every minute for United since he's
on a free.
Exactly.
On a free too.
Yeah, he would have came for free.
That's what's crazy, and they already have a good relationship too. I think, man, that's exactly like the type of player that. I mean, I think he's worth 6 to 9 points. I think he's that good for sure, especially with some of the tough, the tighter games that you guys have had. He's been worth 6 to 9 points for United. If we're being honest.
That's what I mean about there's two different viewpoints between ownership and manager, and that's the issue. I think they don't know what to do because they can't agree on anything to do. I guarantee you, Conte wanted Eriksen in, and what did he wind up with? Basuma and Jed Spence, Udogie technically too. Bro, that Destiny Udogie signing, he's one of the best young midfielders in the world in my opinion. I don't want to disrespect everything they did this summer, but Basuma and Jed Spence, that's Daniel Levy. That's not something. Yeah. There's no shot Conte ever would have agreed to that if he knew he could have Eriksen. That doesn't even make sense. And by the way, whatever they do this January, keep in mind they got to pay Juve 43 M's for your Kulusevski.
Yeah, no matter if he's coming through, unless he's going back. So y'all got to make the decision.
Under the assumption Kulusevski will re-up with them. I think it's a realistic possibility he just goes back to Juve.
X, you're on the outside, but keep it, obviously, in terms of, as you do with any one of your teams and rivals, you keep a close eye on Tottenham. They're not the most enjoyable watch for probably a new football or soccer fan. However, Conte is known for wherever he's been, he does win trophies, and he's also, we have to put respect on his name. He is a Premier League manager, Premier League winner as a manager, and just as once again in the same city as where Tottenham is. What are your thoughts on where you think Tottenham's going to go?
Honestly, I picked them to finish top 4. Even though I like to hate on Conte, even though I like to shit on them as a team, I mean, Kane has been carrying them, right? And the thing is, when you see that they're down a goal or two, and you see them really open things up and really attack, they look pretty damn good offensively. You know what I'm saying? They may not have the best back line, but offensively, they're capable of scoring goals, and they have a lot of firepower, especially if Son is back, comes back into form. So I'm picking them to finish top 4. They don't have a chance of competing for the title, obviously, but I think that they edge out Manchester United for the 4th spot, and I think probably Newcastle finishes 3rd. So that's where I'm at with it now.
We not catching Man U. I think we can. I do think we finish top 4 because I think Newcastle's about to fall off a cliff. But I don't think we catch.
When does Isaac come back?
Yeah, Isaac. We don't know if he's back. Isak. We don't know if he's back yet.
Isak. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess, and they could spend $700 million in January too, the way Chelsea's getting ready to. But as rosters currently stand, I don't think Newcastle can stay in front of us.
Throwing money at the wall,
bro. Yeah. Just bringing it, and I get it. And that's another thing. No Reece James is another reason that didn't help England, and so they're struggling too. Chelsea their identity is lost right now. For them to have zero, I don't know what they're about to do.
They bought 7 defenders, and they're still playing Thiago Silva.
They're about to fix that though.
And then they put how much money into forwards, and they still don't have anybody that can consistently score goals. So it's I don't know what the plan is for Chelsea.
They just signed a dude yesterday, right? They signed Fofana and Koulibaly and Cucurella.
Yeah.
They're just throwing money at defense.
Yeah. But they're gonna leave January with Enzo.
I don't know. After that press conference today, I don't know.
if they don't leave January with Enzo, then they get him in June. Like
He's
Enzo's
not
going to
worth
be
124 though.
But he's not coming if they. By the way, none of y'all named Chelsea is getting top 4. There's no way he's coming if they don't get top 4.
There's
Who in
no
the
way
top
they're
4
getting
can
top
pay
4.
for Enzo though? Because Tottenham won't pay for Enzo.
Sure.
Y'all can't afford Enzo. If I guess City, but like, is he going to go to City to like? I don't think he goes. Like, there's no spot for him in City. And then
Maybe
I guess
Liverpool
maybe.
would miss out on Jude.
Eh.
I don't think
Liverpool is
not
preparing to go all out for Jude. But if he ends
But
up going to
that's not,
Madrid,
like, that's not top 4 though. Like, I feel like Chelsea can give more money than Liverpool. But they got fuck you money, bro. If they're getting Enzo. I honestly think they're gonna get y'all boy like Mudryk too, but like maybe not. I don't know.
at this point, I'm comfortable with them taking him. I don't want to pay above $70 million for him, so they can have him.
But and like they don't give a fuck. Like I think they will. I think they end up spending $200 million on Enzo and Mudryk in January, and that's just 2 of the many signings they're gonna have.
Yeah.
And I still don't know if that does anything for them to get to top 4 just because of where United's at, and if Conte gets just half of the folks that he wants. I don't know their upside. I don't know if this is when I was like talking about it in the group chat earlier. I don't know what Chelsea's project is.
But did you not see who they subbed on today?
That's my point.
So you have them. You get what's his name, Conte, back in like March or April. And then you add these 2 kids. Their project is like an on steroids version of what y'all did. It's exactly what y'all did with $300 million spent every window.
But they don't have it. Their strikers they're null. Their Havertz is not very good. Like in the Premier League, he's not a Premier League striker. So that would mean.
I think that's what the point of Enzo and Mudryk is. I think they would agree with that.
But that's not Mudryk's game though. Mudryk's not
exactly.
really. You're not going to put him in a
He's a
center
winger.
forward. Yeah,
He's a winger. Yeah,
he's not a world class finisher. He's not a world class finisher. Havertz is a better finisher than Mudryk at this point. And is Enzo a world class finisher?
I don't think Mudryk's very good in general. What I'm saying is their thought process is Mudryk and Enzo fix that. Now, whether I think they accomplish that or not is a different story because I don't think Enzo's that good either. But like that's their whole thought process.
Go ahead, Charles.
Hold on.
You wanted to put something on wax first?
He balled next to Messi.
All I'm gonna say is I literally did this that day we were talking in the group chat. I went and watched a 3-minute video of Mudryk. I did not see a single black person, a single person of any melanin in that entire video. Like I was not playing. He's fast against other white boys. I've never seen him play against any person of ethnicity.
I mean, you could just put up Champions League and watch him against Real Madrid. He was blown by guys there too.
Was he? Okay. I don't watch Madrid games. I don't watch Madrid games. I don't know.
I was like, who was he blown by? Hazard?
They're like, yo, show me some world class players he did against Madrid. Yeah, but they don't count. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like who exactly was he?
Tony
like,
Cruz,
what side was he on? He wasn't on Vini's side. I know that.
No, but the thing is, when you watch him, it's funny because like I've watched a shit ton of tape. He's going like 1-on-5 because he doesn't have anybody that can kind of play with him. So he's just dribbling into crowds because he has to. That's the only way that team can even have a chance to score.
He's Ukrainian.
Yeah, he's Ukrainian. Him and
Okay.
are real tight.
Yeah.
That's another reason why. And apparently Arteta's about to start recruiting some more folks. So we'll see. Listen, I'm not always I worry about Tottenham just because there's emotions involved, etc. I am not worried about Chelsea since I honestly, as soon as they got rid of like even with Tuchel being gone, I'm like, oh, they don't really know what they want to be. They don't. And hell, they changing goalies every other month.
But
Who's their number one?
I think they do know what they want to be. I think
Mendy's for the streets.
I think they do know what they want. But Graham Potter just got there 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It's gonna take time.
But you don't think many shot at finishing top 4 ultimately.
No, I don't think they care about that this year. Like, if there was ever a year where they don't care about bringing in Champions League money, it's this year. And they're just going to
with a new
money.
owner.
And then it's like next year they're going to go for it. Like if you told me they were the team that stole Jude from Liverpool, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just think this year's about setting them up for next year. You give Graham Potter the leash of like, hey, bro, like y'all are barely top 10. Like there's no pressure on these games, and you can sub in 3 fucking 18-year-olds against City.
I think they want to maybe. I'm just guessing here. Actually, I'm going to say this: their best thing that they should do: don't make Europa, don't make top 4, just play once a week, just like we would have last year. The difference is, and I'll give them this, obviously with new ownership, that makes a huge difference. Go ahead and spin. Let's just put out a team out there. The Jews of the world aren't going because he wants to play in Champions League football. He's not the type of guy that's going to go to Chelsea. But up and coming dudes, just kind of like what, I don't know, like Gamara's old boy from Newcastle, just playing once a week, and that's how you'll build back up. And then they'll take they may flip flop and take Newcastle United. Hell, they may take Arsenal out of top 4 next year. Who knows?
How long is Van Dijk out for?
VVD hamstrings. Who knows right now? And Charles, I guess you could speak on this too. I think we're going to see a lot of post World Cup injuries, just because they're not used to it in terms of the rhythm and things of that nature, and they kind of. VVD didn't take much time off because Liverpool had to keep going.
You already saw Raheem get hurt in the first 2 minutes today. So, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some dudes with, like, stop, started probably. Like, they trained they got in shape, then they was out for, a week and a half, or they weren't training probably.
Pulisic out too.
He got hurt on some bullshit with his little frail ass.
Listen, this is what it is, though.
I didn't even notice he got hurt today because he wasn't. He didn't seem like he was on the field anyway.
He banged him in a game of soccer. He and somebody else banged feet, and he couldn't play anymore.
But so like Graham Potter, like when he puts these lineups out, these lineups are like a cry for help, right? Like this is his way of saying I need players immediately because these lineups fucking stink.
Yeah, I hear you.
He's not even trying, bro. He had Havertz, Pulisic. Who was the other dude up there with them today?
Midson Mount.
That's fantastic. Oh, I love that. Oh man. All right, cool. Transfer window noise.
Yeah, Hakeem Ziyech up there.
Yeah, Ziyech is
World Club semifinalist. Put some respect on that.
Listen, bro, he's a beast from Morocco.
Yes.
Did you even know he was on Chelsea until today?
He only plays bad for Ajax. I mean, he played good on Ajax too. He's just bad for Chelsea.
I know, but
He's
like,
bad for
bro, you put those 3 in the front together, and Raheem gets hurt in 2 seconds, and they bring on Aubameyang. Bro, they're not trying to score goals.
They're awful in the midfield too. They are awful in the midfield. No N'Golo Kante has really killed them.
They're gonna get Jorginho.
Oh, you do think so?
Housed on Sunday, and at the end, I think they're going to get housed by like 4.
Who do they play? City again?
City again. I think
they're
the dog. And this one's on the road. I think they're going to get housed.
Yeah, and they might bench Haaland for that, which I think makes
them
better.
So, they're going to for sure, but they going
make them better.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. Transfer window noise. X. What team are you most scared of? From us, from a competition standpoint, who's building right now in the transfer window?
Probably Manchester United.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea can't touch us this year. But I mean, with the way Manchester United is playing, what have they won? Like 6 games in a row, I think. I mean, with the right additions, man, they could make a run. So they make me nervous. Newcastle, after the way they were cowards against us, I'm not really worried about them. And City, they're not bringing anybody. So really, it's only Manchester City. And I would have said Liverpool, but they already brought in Gakpo, and Dijk's hurt, probably out for a few weeks with the hamstring. So really, only Manchester United, I'd say.
Deion, what team are you most excited about transfer-wise in the EPL?
Like that's going to do something?
Yeah.
I mean, Chelsea. I guess it doesn't matter because, like,
Arsenal, man, stop playing. If we bring in Felix and Mudryk, we're winning the title.
Y'all are bringing in Felix. Yeah, Felix has probably already signed his lease in Manchester. Like that shit's over. It's Chelsea because it's not because of like who they would bring in, not because of how much better it makes them or whatever. It's just because, bro, if you told me Chelsea spent $500 million in January to get into Conference League, I'd believe you.
How do they skirt around the fair financial whatever shit? Like, I don't understand that. How are they allowed to just spend
It's England, man.
$500 million?
It's because their team's dumb young. So like,
Yeah, it's a financial fair play. That shit only happens in the league in Spain. It works different in England. Those dudes, because the Saudi. I mean, listen, you know what City did? City had to go to like. You need to. We'll send that to you, X, for you to catch up on them from like 2 years ago, right before the pandemic. Like, that was part of the issue. Like, City was almost banned from the Champions League for like 2 or 3 campaigns, because of financial fair play. Yeah, it was crazy. Remember we was going through that.
They were banned. Yeah, they were banned. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it was almost rough because Pep was about to bounce.
That all is nothing on Prime. How many years ago was that?
Cities?
Yeah, Cities.
That was pre-COVID.
Yeah, that was they started it. The All or Nothing. I think it was City. I thought it was City was the first one.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Yeah. Charles, from you looking at the landscape before we transition over and talk about La Liga, your quick thoughts on the transfer window?
I just want Tottenham to do something, like just something. Even if I don't like the signing, just like show me that you're at least trying.
You was hating on Pedro.
Fuck it, man. It's just sign Dumfries or get Weston. Like do something. Like do something.
I don't hate Weston, but like the Poro signing was good. Or like whenever it becomes official, it'll be good.
You were way too excited for it. I wasn't that I was under excited. I just feel like you were way too excited for that shit.
I'm sick of watching Matt Doherty and Emerson Royale. Like I can't do that no more. I can't do that no more.
Understandable. That is very fair. That's very true. That's fair. I mean, obviously this is part of the thing. You want Tottenham, if they just improve at 1 or 2 spots, they have a manager once again who is excellent at closing, knows how to win games. And another thing for y'all is just transfers is getting healthy. And I would say I think that's just fair to acknowledge. Just get healthy, right?
Well, when Charles brought up the depth, I was going to bring that up. Like this team's kind of deep when they're fully healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess for us,
at the front at least, not so much.
Yeah. And you already saw the difference of what they look like once they have Romero. I mean, he just kind of given that security blanket, very similar to what Diaz used to do for City. But, such is life on that front. For us, X, I would say ESR is going to be like getting a transfer, though, if we get him healthy at all. If anything, just to
– Can you even count on him to stay healthy, though?
Hold on. Who the fuck is ESR? Hold on.
Oh, we really going to do this, dog?
No. Hold on.
We're disrespecting Emil Smith Rowe. Like, this is a dude who scored many times against double-digit goals before in the Premier League. He's young. He's 21 years old. Come on, Charles. Let's not be disrespectful.
First off, he's 21. He's English, and he don't play for the national team. So that nigga's mid to me. Like he's wasn't even contention.
Because he was hurt.
And you know how I take the people that wear the 10 jersey. He wears the 10, and he ain't the 10.
He started. Here's the thing. He started in the Nations League for England before he got hurt. Like they brought him up. They brought everybody up they brought all the Arsenal, all young Arsenal.
I don't give a fuck how good he is. He ain't earned no fucking initials. Fucking you just be dropping initials over here. ESR. He ain't do no ESR work.
I got comfortable about us talking who I was with. I saw one about Arsenal brothers. He knew right away. Fair enough.
I know who you were talking about, but he's not very good.
We need people to get minutes and people who can score goals. If you scored in North London Derby, for me, you can play. That's what we need.
Aubameyang just scored 100 fucking goals for the damn club. I ain't never heard you call him like PEA or none of that other shit. You ESR out here. Come on.
I ain't gonna call the man P. I mean, look,
and truthfully, when it comes to Jesus, bro, we're doing a lot of assumptions, assuming that he's gonna come back like, early March, mid-March. And it's like people assume that he's going to come back and just hit the ground running. Like, bro, we don't know how serious that knee injury is. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just like, oh, yeah, he'll be back in a couple months, so we'll be fine. It's like, bro, if Smith Rowe can't stay healthy, if Jesus comes back later than expected, we're fucked. And
yeah,
that's my fear right now because I doubt we're going to get anybody that's going to crack our starting 11, but we just need
Y'all
that.
are fucked, but it's not because of City. I think it's because of United.
Wow, really? You see us finishing third?
I watched that City Chelsea game, bro. Like, I don't know about them, dude.
Let's go. Let's jump in. Let's pause on that real quick. Charles, catch us up with La Liga before we get back on the City, because I think Dion got some takes. There's 2 or 3 things I need to revisit.
I do low-key agree with him. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Charles, La Liga is underway. We obviously had the Copa. You had your local derby with Barcelona Espanyol this past week. Madrid handled their business late, but still handled their business as needed. We have a tie atop the table in La Liga. Point differential going to the boys from Barca. You nervous at all?
Nah, man. The resistance lives on. We're gonna fight the oppressors, the fucking whites, all the way to the end of the season. Don't you worry about us, man. A great thing has happened in Barcelona. Jules Koundé and Ronald Araujo are healthy and started their first game as our center back pairing in the last game. So I'm hoping that they can get some continuity, and I think that's going to shore up a lot of things at the back. We won't have to run out fucking Eric and Marcus Alonso at center back anymore. So good to go there. Happy.
Eric as in Garcia?
Yeah.
Okay, because we know you like your other boy, Eric, though.
Which one? Don't. Why y'all trying to put? I'm not even getting the who's. I was giving a masseuse that I was a masseuse today. My name changes in the group chat. I'll be like, who the fuck? But Barca's good, man. We're doing fine. Like I said, we're healthy. That's a big thing for us right now. Is everybody's healthy, so should be good to go. It's going to be an interesting title race. I'm hoping to be set. I actually was looking at flights today. I'm hoping to be potting the last month of the season from Barcelona, so it should be a good time.
I think we're a month away from a United match. Is that correct?
Something like that. We're like, as long as we get this Big Ron Koundé center back pairing, I think we'll be fine against United. I'm not really worried about them too much. I think it'll be a typical Spanish English run in.
February 16th. Okay. And the first leg is at your place. Our second leg is at United. For the moment, not worried at all. I mean, you don't want them to be getting better either.
They can do what they got to do. I think they're going to lay an egg. I don't think they'll be able. I don't think they're still. I still see Fred out there way too fucking much. Like let's call the elephant in the room. Like I still see Fred out there too much. Casemiro's their best offensive player right now. Like these are things that I can really.
Rashford's been pretty unbelievable.
But the fact that Casemiro is pressing like as far forward as I'm seeing him.
Yeah.
No. Like I said, I think we'll be fine. Chase Pedri around for 90 minutes, and we'll see how they do. I've barely seen Bruno in a month. I'm just saying, like I want to see a little bit more from them. Somebody give Jadon Sancho a hug. I think I would feel a little bit better about United if they actually had all of their players and quit running out Sevilla's backup striker from last year. But it's cool. Y'all keep gassing up Anthony Martial like he wasn't like Sevilla's backup striker last year.
I'm not gassing up no Martial at all.
At all.
I like what they're doing, and I think they get João Felix too. So I think you throw João Felix into the mix of what they got going on. I think that's pretty good.
That would put the fear of God in me if they did that. That's why it's not that I'm hoping. It's not just a disappointment of not getting him, but if he goes to United, that's be kind of perfect for them.
He's going to United. Like he's going to go to United. United knows they're about to sell it to some Saudis for like $17 trillion. Like these owners are going to spend a shitload of money because the new owners are going to spend a shitload of money. It's stupid. I want to pay $20 million for 6 months, but do what you got to do, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I asked the question in the group chat though, like, what's his position? If he goes to United, where's he playing?
But I think he comes off the bench. Like I don't think he starts.
He can just change games for them, like when they're in like 1-1 or 1-0, like or 0-0. They're just getting better.
I think that's why I hate João Felix though, because it's like you're talking about a guy who sold for $140 million.
The money doesn't equal the talent doesn't equal the money, I should say, because I actually think he's talented, but he's not that talented.
But he does nothing on like a world class level, right? Like, he doesn't do anything bad, but like, there is nothing on the soccer field he does that you're like, damn, like he's one of the best in the world at doing that. Which
Then
is
that's
why
why I don't think
his
he's.
best
I don't think
spot
he's
is, like, a
changing shit. Then
superstar.
I don't think he's changing anybody's fortunes or pushing anybody forward.
But he's going to a manager if he goes to United, which is why I'm with X on this. I'm scared. Ten Hag has a Ten Hag has a record of developing guys. Man, he's phenomenal
Man,
player
He
development.
got off the bench.
Look.
That's your man. Shut up.
Y'all can tell me if I'm wild.
Who's your best player
But
in
for
Barca?
me, like what we miss with Jesus gone is just he's not a world class finisher, but the creativity he shows in that final third can help create opportunities that other players maybe can't see. And with Felix, it's just his creativity that I'm like, yo, he'll make some passes or he'll do certain things, and it just kind of switch. It just kind of changed the game up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
He'll
And I feel like
for 78 minutes.
And but his runs that he makes, Charles, it's another thing. He's opening it up and making others around him better.
Okay.
Where's his
I
training?
think Nketiah does that though.
who?
X said that would put the fear of God in him. I'm just saying that I don't think that a João Felix move should put the fear of God in anybody.
Well, because earlier you just mentioned that Casemiro's playing too far up. So let's say if they play some sort of diamond up front to where Felix is in the back of that diamond and he has the ability to still play up the middle, but he has options to play make for the
I
wingers.
get what you're saying.
That's creative. He can do that.
I get what you're saying. I just don't believe in João Felix being, again, like I said, it's more of my lack of, like, I get what you're saying. It's just my lack of belief in him. If he had it, we'd see it more consistently by now.
I mean, I think
Yeah, but they say Jesus. But if he's playing in a system that doesn't allow him, because the reason Simeone doesn't play him is because he don't trust him to play within the system.
He don't play for Portugal. He don't play for Atletico. He don't play for you. He don't play for me. He don't play.
Look, man, I would take him in a heartbeat because I'd rather run him out there than fucking Eddie Nketiah. So bring him to fucking Arsenal.
he make, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, if you're saying like he improves Arsenal, but like Arsenal is not spending 20 million for 6 months. Like Arsenal might not spend 20 million in the window. Like, yeah,
No, come on, that's relax. You gotta relax.
it's true.
But we've spent money. We just spent it on the wrong dudes. Like they spent 50 for Ben White. They spent 70 on Pepe. Like they spent 20 for Saliba when he was like 17, 18. Like they're dropping money. It just hasn't always paid off.
No, the
It just hasn't
players
always
and
paid
the
off.
ages are the players and the ages are the thing. Like if you told me they were going to spend 20 M's and then they were going to be able to buy João Felix in the summer, like a buy clause, like what Tottenham did with Kulusevski, maybe. They're not going to spend 20 million just for 6 months, though. Like,
But why wouldn't? But they should because it's a title run. Like we have a legit title shot. Early on, it was like, it's cute, but Arsenal's going to fall off. Like, no, dog, it's literally 50-50 with us and City. And they would rather spend 20 for 6 months to strengthen the team this year than have to commit themselves to 100 million to a player that they don't know if he's going to work. 20 million, that's enough of an investment. Like, look, if he boosts our title shot by 10%, the 20 million is worth it. And then we let him walk in the summer or let him go back to Atletico. And then we bring in fucking Balogun. And he's our next, center forward next year. There's a natural transition there.
Another 21-year-old dude that can't play for England. But, like, it's
Bro,
just...
stop it. Because I'm a podcast. He was like, yo, X, I don't want to put you on the hot spot, but this dude Balogun's out there in France fucking shit up. Now all of a sudden
He is
he's a
fucking
bum.
shit up in France. He is.
Consistent, Deion. Come on. You don't even know track of your own hate.
But like I just y'all don't do that though. Like everything you said is true. Arsenal just doesn't. That's not what they like care about necessarily. But everything you said is true. Like I don't listen, bro. If you had an unlimited bankroll, they would print the 20 M's. He'd already be in North London.
I agree. But look, if there was ever a time to break the mold, this is the time because we have a legitimate shot at the title. Chelsea's coming. Manchester United's coming. Liverpool's coming. Tottenham, if they spend the money, they're coming. City's already there. Newcastle, they might fuck around and be there. Like, we're never going to have a fucking 5-point lead this late into the season. So if you're going to spend the money, this is the time. And if they don't, I might switch over to the league and start rooting for one of the two good teams in Spain, along with my favorite Premier League. You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree. Again, everything you said is true, and I do think it's possible they spend. If the name is Mudryk, then I think they would spend, and I think they would spend close to 80 million ultimately for Mudryk. But like João Felix at 20, I don't see that one happening. Just
But even then, Manchester United is not interested at 20. But the fact that it's pretty much down to us at United, that lets you know that, hey, they're at least exploring the possibility of spending money. You know what I'm saying? If we wasn't serious about it, you wouldn't even hear us mention with United. You know what I mean?
there's a price tag they would pay. I don't think, like, when it comes out, like, I think once you find out, kind of like what's happened with the first two Mudryk bids, is it's like going to wind up being way off what they wind up accepting.
They'll take 5-6 mil loan fee, and then you pay the 6 mil salary. It'll come out to 12 mil.
I'm sure that's what Arsenal's come up with. So
That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, that's the hope, right? You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm sure that's what their offer is.
Yeah. Speaking of other teams that Arsenal will be competing with, and Charles and Deion, the last 2 weeks, you guys have had some thoughts on who I think is a top 3 midfielder in the world. And I believe that the quote is, unquote, let me make sure I'm getting this right, system player. And then the other one is that I don't really even see anything of what he does. He just passes into spaces. Like, you can't pass people open, and you're not passing to people, but you can't pass people open.
No.
Charles, go ahead. Tell us about the system player. We are talking about, once again, the Premier League Player of the Year in previous Mr. Kevin De Bruyne.
Why did
Go
you
ahead.
decide just at that moment to just pronounce niggas' names wrong? But anyway, it's fucking awful. Like, you've never said his name like that before. No, once.
Y'all know ML went on vacation.
Carry on, please.
Your man's is a system player. What's the kid name that played at Hawaii? Brennan. I don't.
Colt Brennan?
Yes.
Is what you're calling KDB?
Yeah,
That is so disrespectful.
Yeah, isn't he like? Actually, never mind.
Yes. To your question, yes.
The one that, yeah.
God
Yes,
rest
he
his
is.
soul.
Yes. Shout out to the homie.
God rest his soul.
Colt Brennan reference. I did not have that on my bingo card
They were
today.
15,
Carry
man. I
on.
like them. Hey, but I mean, your man he was all right when he was on Chelsea. He was all right before Pep got there. He all right when he was with Belgium. I just feel like the common denominator, the thing that makes him great, is when he's with Pep in that system with those players. I've never really seen him elevate in times when the golden generation was going down, and I waited for old Kevin to just elevate the squad and put on a masterclass like I've seen so many other midfielders do. I've never seen him do that in any other shirt than the Manchester shirt. And when players were hurt and people were down, I want to see more from him on an individual basis. But I do think he is great in what he does for Man City. I do think he is the best midfielder in the world for what he does. But I don't think that he could do that other places. I don't think you could plug and play him in some other places and he would do well like that.
Deion, your thoughts about City right now? Actually, let's talk about you and KDB, and I know you got a Haaland take that we are about to find out.
I think the two tie in together because he's about to call Haaland a speed merchant, and he's kind of right. Because you see the difference.
Right.
Listen, when KDB was balling early in the season and just throwing oops to fucking Haaland, they looked unstoppable. Now that KDB isn't playing as well, City doesn't look as good. Haaland is just,
And God forbid Phil Foden. They need Phil Foden to do some shit. God
Haaland-
forbid we ask that.
Haaland doesn't fit Pep's system. Like, he's too ball dominant for Pep's system. Like, they need to be more free flowing and get like more people involved, I think. I mean, he's still the best. He's still probably the best striker in the world to me. But like on City, he's just a height merchant, speed merchant. Like, he just runs really fast, and then he's just big as fuck. And KDB, he's probably assisted like 17 or 18 of Haaland's goals. How many of those do you think he actually knew Haaland was where he passed the ball? 0. He has no idea, bro. It just be going into space, and then the other person makes the pass look good. KDB has no idea what he's doing on the soccer field.
There's maybe two players that get a boot on some of those passes that KDB makes. If he makes those same passes with anybody else out there, them shits go untouched in the box. But Haaland somehow fucking gets to them shits,
Bro,
and that's his
he
talent.
makes
There's nobody better at that.
he makes 15 passes into the box a game, and one of them looks good. The other 14 is a goal kick. It's a goal kick every time. And there's the bulk of the time, there's no one anywhere. It's like, yo, what did he see? He just saw open space. Ball goes to open space. He's like a robot. That's y'all boy, though. He not even better than Ben Kerr to me.
I'm not doing stupid shit now.
Ben Kerr at least knows his teammates. If you could put Haaland out there with the three of us, and the ball go to the same spot.
So let me ask you a question. If you put Odegaard on City instead of KDB, is City better? I'd say yes.
They're not missing a beat. I would say
the problem is Odegaard doesn't show up in the big games, right? Like KDB is going to do the same thing no matter who the opponent is. He sees open space, ball goes to open space. Odegaard probably makes them win by like 11 against like Brighton, but he probably hurts their chances. He probably hurts their chances when they play like the real game.
Oh man! All right. From what you see of City, though, currently right now, do they? Because right now they're saying they don't need to make any moves. Are they still the Champions League favorites?
I mean, I think they have a better chance of winning Champions League than I do the Prem right now. Like, bro, there's something wrong with that team, and I feel like in the Champions League, I feel like in the Champions League they're going to play Alvarez and Haaland together, which I think fixes it. But I don't see them doing that on like a Tuesday game against fucking Aston Villa. And then they might slip up and lose that one, right? Like, I just think, like, previous City teams, we talked about in the last episode, previous City teams, their C squad is going to beat your A squad. Their B squad's going to win, like, the FA Cup and the Carabao. And they're probably going to win the bulk of their Prem games, and the A squad really only has to worry about Champions League. I don't really see that with this version unless Alon's the one that gets pulled. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case, but like I think KDB misses a ton of the games. I think, dude, Bernardo Silva is like he's about to leave. He might be the most important player on that team right now.
Yeah, I am super hoping that Barcelona figures out a way to bring him. But he don't want to be there. That's the issue, though.
Sign off on that first, but like I do think Barca has a chance to bring him in the summer.
I think that's his first choice. I don't think he wants to be in. He pretty much said it the other day, like I don't want to be here anymore.
That quote that he said was pretty much like, "Hey, I'm here now," but who knows?
And and Pep is more or less saying that too. Like in the beginning, he was just like, "Yo," he's just like, "He's our player." Not really, because he ain't signed nothing with y'all anymore. Like, but
they're all saying the same shit. Like KDB and Pep are all saying that. They remind me of the Warriors. Like we've already won everything. Like we don't feel like they have no motivation to get up other than that fucking hype merchant that's playing striker for them.
Nah, but they gotta win a Champions League. It is a failure if Pep does not win a Champions League there. I'm telling you,
they give a fuck. To be honest,
I think they do. I think Pep
their
knows
body language and their comments. I don't really think they care, and I think that's
English midfielder Kevin De Bruyne is because he's more of an English citizen than a Belgian citizen.
Wild.
He's the captain of my least amount of time spent in your homeland All Stars. Kevin De Bruyne don't be in Brussels like that, bro. He be thinking he moved his mom and his whole family to England.
Yeah, Harry Kane's a better midfielder than him. Like, I don't see it. I don't see what y'all see with him.
See, I think one thing I'm going to just give you some of these fixtures. So this is why this is good for us. Their January is absolutely just as tough as ours. I know it's squad depth, but I've seen what happens when Tottenham has to go to City. They figure out a way to like pull out some crazy shit. Yeah, I'm telling y'all got a chance. Telling you, man.
Because we're gonna beat y'all, and then City's gonna be like an emotion dump because we have y'all at home. Like either team winning on the other team's like in the other team's pitch is damn near impossible. So it's like,
oh gosh,
we're probably gonna beat y'all, and then we're gonna have a letdown against City. We might lose like 7-0 against City.
City has Chelsea this Sunday. Could be ugly. Southampton in the Carabao Cup on the 11th. And then here's the thing.
You said it's going to be good for X. You just listed off an FA Cup and a
I'm about to get to where we are. These next three. I'm just telling you. United, the day before we play Tottenham, and they got to go to Old Trafford, which is good. And then for them, one way or the other, their emotions are going to be high. But I'm telling you, this is a perfect spot for Conte on a Thursday, randomly not having to go to the Etihad. Tottenham could get them. This City has Wolves. The City and Wolves. They have weird matches. Like, I'm not saying that they're hosting Wolves. So there you go. But that's a lot of points right in there that could shift. We could be all right. Say we just come through. Here's the thing: if Richarlison's not healthy, and for White Hart Lane, I actually think we're beating Tottenham. I actually think we're getting all 3 points. I really do.
Who's not healthy?
If Richarlison can't play and Kula can't play, I think that we're good.
Kula could have played the other day, apparently.
They said he didn't. They said he's warming up, though. They said he's not up to.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks from now. He was 50-50 to play yesterday. We don't play y'all for another 2 weeks.
You think though he'll start? Mm-hmm. Okay. No Richarlison. If they didn't have Richarlison or Kula, I think we win for sure. Without Richarlison, I still think we got a chance. But we'll talk about that next week.
Richarlison's definitely not playing.
Yeah, he's got 3 more weeks out, right?
Yeah, he definitely won't play.
Yeah. And we'll be healthy. Partey will play this time too.
Maybe.
Well, knock on wood. Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
If the probation lets him.
I was waiting for the.
There it comes.
You never know.
Let's don't get to him first. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? He don't get to leave London, man. He only get to play in London games.
City and Tottenham played twice in 2 weeks. Oh yeah.
We're cooking both those.
This is great for us.
Not winning the league, bro.
This is great for
standing
us.
on that shit.
This is great for us. I can't wait.
I'm standing on that shit.
Let me just get to Sunday, February 12th, dog. That's what. Nah, Wednesday, and then we play them. X. We are going to be in such great shape if we handle business. Wednesday the 15th, February 15th. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's coming.
It all comes down to that game, man. If we can get a draw, man, then we're alive. You know what I'm saying? If we toot it up for them, you know.
There you go.
Y'all are gonna be up 2 points by then the next Saturday. like that's what's really gonna happen.
We'll see. I think we're beating United at the crib. We'll talk about that next week because we're gonna do our.
Y'all are gonna lose to us. Whatever against United, but
we're gonna talk about next week.
Y'all are gonna lose to us.
We'll talk
it
next
just
week.
is what it is. Like if it was in Arsenal, I'd say, or even a neutral field, I'd say y'all would win. But like,
it is so hard to win.
I'm not gonna be able to win on the road in this rivalry. It's just tough. I mean, like a best case scenario for Arsenal is you get a draw, 3 points up.
Love a draw. Take a draw tomorrow.
Because City gets 2 weeks off. They're gonna smoke United.
At the bridge. We'll see. All right. Last thoughts on the club part before we we'll talk about that in a second. X, you excited? You're going through your second transfer window as a true fan.
Listen, man, I can't take it because I haven't slept early like in 2 months. So I'll be up at 2 a.m. waiting for Fabrizio Romano to release a newsletter. And it just be a big nothing burger at 2 a.m. And I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready for some actual news to drop. I thought that there would be fireworks at the beginning. I didn't realize most of the business gets done towards the end of the window. So I'm just waiting patiently for some dominoes to fall. But
thought it was a Woj bomb about to drop.
Especially us, because we don't do we do a poor job. This is the first year where we did our business early and got actually folks into camp. In the previous, usually takes a couple, 2-3 weeks, and we're doing it at the end of the window, which crosses 3 weeks of the season. And there you go. You start out with 9 points down already in the league. But yeah, excited where we are with Arsenal. Charles, any quick lasting thoughts? Anything you excited about?
I'm excited. Hopefully, Barcelona's able to repeat Arsenal's mid-Eastern success this season.
Okay. Okay.
We got the Spanish Super Cup coming up next week. Hopefully we can
Mid-Eastern success.
We can that Middle Eastern success you guys had during the
Barcelona beat. Aren't they in line to get relegated in like the third Spanish league or some shit? Like this,
Inner City.
Inner City. They're like 17th in like Division
They
3.
also have like their whole team is old Barcelona players. They're like best friends or other Barcelona players. They're niggas they grew up with. They're literally playing against niggas they grew up with. The dude who scored a hat trick was on Barca B 2 years ago.
Excuses and monuments of nothing.
Playing against Inaki Pena, who was the Barca B goalkeeper 2 years ago. It's fine. And guess what? Did we win the game? Did Ansu Fati score the game winner? That happened. Did Frankie de Jong not break a sweat? These things happened. Pedri didn't play. We're good. That's what happens when you play Pablo Torre.
Yeah, I saw Memphis Depay was out there, so I don't think the game counts.
Mid.
He's awful.
Mid.
He's awful. I still can't believe that fucking Berhalter got up there and said we don't have a Memphis Depay. Like, yo, just be like, yo, we suck.
Right?
Memphis does not suck. Where like who do you think? I think he's better than Lukaku.
Depay? Okay, well,
But I think
that's just the
that's what I'm
bottom
saying.
tier
Like,
player. If we tiered strikers, they're both down at the bottom.
I don't think there are 7 good strikers, if that, in the world.
He's not better, bro. Like Tottenham has what, 2 better than him? 3 if you count Sonny as a striker. You're not gonna say he's better than Richarlison.
Man, Richarlison been hot for 6 months. Y'all been gassing.
Let's
Y'all
relax.
He was nice on Everton last year.
He was
Yes.
decent on Everton. He was like Everton was getting their fucking heads beat in for the last 3 years.
He was
but
on Everton. You put Memphis Depay on Everton, like they're gonna get their heads beat in too.
hold on, what's his name? CLW. What's Calvert Lewis? Whatever you want to call him. Since we got to give him all these no name English players.
Okay.
That's what the fuck we do here at this point.
We appreciate y'all. We got you on the other end. We are going to be talking about on our part 2 of our episode. We're going to fix the United States Men's National Federation, everything. Well, there you go. We're going to just talk about it. Maybe we'll give out some thoughts about just hopefully just change soccer in this whole country, because whatever's going on right now, it's nasty. It's not nasty, but we'll see y'all on the flip. Next week is going to be a heated. We're going to try to bring in some other Tottenham folks in here. Biggest London Derby match in a long, long time. Can make a lot of splash. We'll see y'all next week.